Hi friends, this video is all about the read and complete question type. You know, this one here. It's the question type where you have to fill in the gaps to complete a passage. And when I talk to test takers, they often say that this is one of the most difficult question types on the Duolingo English test. And I agree, even as a native speaker, this one can be very challenging. So that's why I'm making this video. Firstly, I'm going to go over some tricks and tips, and then I've made 5 practice questions, all of which will help you to do well on this read and complete question type. Okay, I will start in 1 second, but if you are new here, hi, I'm teacher Luke from DETready.com, and we have lots of tools and courses to help you prepare for your Duolingo English test. As I said, the read and complete question type looks like this on the exam. You're provided with a short passage with some words being incomplete, and your job is to complete those words. The passages are not long, normally around 100 words. Regardless of the number of words, the time limit stays the same, which is 3 minutes. 3 minutes might sound like a long time, but it does go quite quickly, especially if you've got a difficult passage. And this question type contributes to your literacy and comprehension subscores, as well as, of course, your total overall score. Just in case you're not sure, the Duolingo English test gives you an overall total score and also a score for 4 subscores: literacy, comprehension, conversation, and production. And since this is a reading question, it contributes to your literacy and comprehension subscores. So how can you do well on this question type? My first tip is for you to skim the passage before you start typing to complete the missing words. To skim means to read quickly, and I think it's important that you skim the passage first before you start typing, so that you get an overall understanding of the topic and the context of the passage. Once you've skimmed, I then want you to focus very carefully on the title, the first and the last sentences of the passage. The title is of course important because it will tell you what the passage is about, and the first and last sentences are normally complete, meaning they don't have any incomplete words. Now, actually, this is not always true. Sometimes the first sentence will have 1 or 2 missing words, but mostly the first and last sentences will be complete. And by paying special attention to these first and last sentences, you'll get a really good understanding of the context of the passage, which will activate your vocabulary and allow you to complete the passage much easier. Next up, I want you to complete all the words you know naturally. So as you're reading through the passage, it's likely you'll know what some of the words are without thinking too much. So go ahead and complete those words. And once you've completed all the words you knew easily, then read the passage again and try to figure out what the other incomplete words are. And in order to complete the words you're not sure of, you should use context clues. Context clues could be topic vocabulary or your grammatical knowledge. Here's an example. This one comes from the official practice test, and the topic is about the theory of stars, so a science-based topic. After reading the title and the first and last sentence, we get a good understanding of the context, and we can use that knowledge to fill in any gaps. So some science-related vocabulary, we have gas and stars. In terms of grammatical knowledge, we have grammar words like that, it, and which. Make the sentences grammatically correct. So as you can see, you need to use your topic-related vocabulary and also your grammatical knowledge in order to complete these passages correctly. Another important pointer is for this question type, you need to use American spelling. For all of the other question types, you can use British or American spelling, but for this question type in particular, you need to use American spelling. The reason being is that for some words, the number of letters does change between American and British spelling. If you're more used to British spelling, like I am, then you do need to brush up on your American spelling before taking the Duolingo test. The next one is about your mentality. Don't stress out if you don't know 1 or 2 of the words. You will not lose all points for missing just 1 or 2 words. Rather, this question type is graded more on a sliding scale based on how well you did throughout the whole passage. It's not graded in a correct or incorrect manner. So stay focused, and if you don't know a word, have a guess, but don't stress out too much about it. Stay focused and try to complete the passage as best as you can. Another question I get asked a lot is, can you erase words, and will you get points deducted for erasing words or changing your answers? Like you could see on the screen here. And the answer is you will not lose points for going back and changing words. Your answers will only be submitted once you click the next button or you run out of time. So definitely do not be afraid to go back and change your answers. The last tip is a very obvious one, but you do need to practice this question type every day. From my experience, this question type gets easier the more you practice, especially if you practice within the correct time limit. You'll get used to reading the passages, you'll get used to thinking of words, and you'll get used to using the context clues to guess words you are not sure of, which is important. You can practice by going on the official practice test, or alternatively, you can use My Practice Platform on DETready.com. By using My Practice Platform, you can select the read and complete question type and practice just that question type. You get the 3 minutes just like on the real test, and once it's completed, you can check your answers so you know how well you're doing. We have thousands of question types on this practice platform, not just for read and complete, but also for all of the other questions as well. If that interests you, there is a link below in the description. Those were my tricks and tips. Now let's jump into some practice. I've prepared 5 practice questions for you, and I will give you 3 minutes to complete them, just like on the real exam. Of course, once the 3 minutes is up, I will show you the correct answers. Okay then, well, let's just jump right into these 5 practice questions, and I'll see you at the end of the video. Well done, you just completed 5 read and complete question types. How was it? Was it easy or was it difficult? Please let me know below in the comments. Now, I recommend you practice the read and select vocabulary question type, the one where you got to choose the real English words, and this video will help you for that. I give you some tips and give you some more practice questions. So I'll see you right here.